Hi, everybody. This is Mark Duncan. I'm your instructor for social media marketing, a great and current topic. This first tape is really just an introduction to some of the terminology and to set the stage for understanding why having a strategy in your social media marketing dimension is so important and how you should see it as a component of your overall. Obviously, lots of people are doing social media. Again, it's a current topic. And it's important for all businesses and all organizations to understand its application to their particular business model. Business model being how you make your money or the service that you actually conduct if you're not a for profit business. What we want to avoid is just having something up for the end of having something up without any understanding of what's behind it. I remember in the 90s, everybody was quick to have a website. I just have to have one up without any real understanding of how that website fit into the overall marketing strategy of the company and what its actual purpose was intended to be. And I see social media marketing as sort of in the same place at this point in time. Um, Wherein businesses or organizations want to have a presence, but they don't really know what it is they want to accomplish or how to handle the information that they potentially can garner. There's a lot of sites that are social media in nature. Many you've heard of. They're the exemplary ones like Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and some others, but there's a myriad or dimension behind that of ones, particularly blogs, but also portals like MSN, uh, through which much social media. What is social media marketing? Well, it's just basically using the various portals to influence your customers toward a particular website, your company, brand, or product, or service, or even a person. What you want to have happen, obviously, at the end of the day, is to convert an observer into a customer. And even one step further, convert that potential customer. It wasn't all that long ago that many people thought that social media was just a fad. But when you see how far, say, Facebook has come in the applications that they've used it for in so many different dimensions or ways, it's obvious that social media is here to stay for some extended period of time. Uh, Other sites like Twitter, Facebook have been instrumental actually in much social movements in other parts of the world. So social media has played a key role in this globalization of exchange of information, not just for products, but for what's going on in people's everyday life. And in many cases, social media sites such as Facebook have supplanted or performed as uh, sites for news, especially that which is occurring in the moment. It's not just for the young. Uh, People over 60 are one of the fastest growing dimensions of social media. And you got those grandmas and grandpas who just, as much as the parents, want to know what's going on with different family segments. There is a return for social media marketing. We'll talk about that in subsequent chapters. But the fact is, although there is a return, it is in fact in many cases hard to measure what that return is, but there are ways, uh, metrics that you can put in place so that you can evaluate it. Social media marketing has been going on for decades, or well, centuries. It just hasn't occurred in the format that it is. I mean, people have been writing on bathroom walls for a long, long time. It's not too time consuming, uh, but it does take some time. It's just maybe perceived to be exceptionally time consuming for those that either don't understand the medium and or aren't tech savvy, which leads to the other myth that it's free. It's not free. If you're going to run a social media marketing program, one key dimension is to keep it fresh and new, to change your content or update your content on a regular basis. And that takes somebody's time and somebody's knowledge. And if you're not the owner, um, you're paying somebody else. But even if you are the owner, it's still not free unless you value your. So, chapter 2, it's about goals and strategies. And as I mentioned at the beginning, you want to have some goals. Without goals and strategies, you're just you're operating aimlessly. And again, going back to the 90s when people were throwing up websites, that's basically what was happening. You want any e-marketing tool like a website or social media marketing to have an intended purpose, and you want to define metrics before of performance before you ever actualize it or operationalize it. So again, you want to have goals, intended outcomes, and you want to have strategies in place that will actualize outcomes. So your social media marketing plan really details your goals and the actions that you. It is in fact a circular process that is ongoing. It generally starts with defining the goals and strategies that you want, the intended audience that you uh, want to reach or that you think are or are potentially customers, the tools that you put in place to reach out, connect, and resonate with them, how you implement your plan. Then again, you monitor your plan as it's intended to effect these intended outcomes. For example, it might be a metric might be click-throughs or conversions. So you want to monitor to the extent to which your efforts are generating those, and you also want it set up so you know exactly what strategies are performing, uh, are creating those intended outcomes. With that information, you can fine tune it, listen further, and then, as need be, on a regular basis, reestablish or tweak your goals and strategies, and you start all over. So you listen to what people are saying, you set your goals, you define your strategies, identify the target market. That's a kind of a critical cornerstone of marketing. You select the tools where the target markets reside. In other words, you select the media that you're going to use to reach them, the messages that you believe will resonate. You implement, you monitor, and then you fine tune. And then again, you're back to listening to see if your tuning produced your. Now, I talked about metrics, ways to measure what your goals, if your goals and your objectives are being actualized. Some of the major marketing goals and objectives that you might establish center around building a brand, let's say increasing brand awareness, improving brand perception, positioning a brand, expanding brand loyalty, or and increasing customer satisfaction. Those are all goals. The difference between a goal and an objective, goals are general, as these are stated. Objectives are good objectives are always, always, always quantified. So if your general goal is to increase brand awareness, that would an objective would be I want to increase brand awareness by 10%. How can you measure that? You can use surveys before and after the implementation of your marketing efforts to measure any increase in brand awareness. You could do the same thing with customer satisfaction. You could say, with my existing customers, I want to increase overall satisfaction by 15%. And again, that's another example where you could use surveys before and after the implementation of your whatever effort you're generating in order to increase customer satisfaction and measure the extent to which any change in CR and customer relationship occurred. And hopefully, if you did it right, you would know the primary items in your strategy that affected that increase in customer satisfaction so that you can. Other goals associated with social media marketing is generating more word of mouth recommendations. That can happen through social media marketing for sure, through different websites. New product ideas actually are often rather come from listening to the conversations that are going on different websites about what your customers think perhaps you should be doing. Uh, you can get ideas on who else might be potential prospects or customers for your product. Again, you can listen to what their thoughts are about your brand so that you can manage your reputation. Uh, you can also use increase search engine optimization, which we'll talk about later, but that's basically just uh, looking at the words that are commonly used in conversations on these sites, integrating them into your kind of the unseen text description in your website, and that can, when people searches, influence the extent to which they end up on your site. So that's the end of the first one. Uh, I'll get the other one done as quickly as possible. I apologize for this being late. Uh, it's just the way it's kind of gone in this transition for me personally, getting back with NAU. So I'll get caught up on this going forward with subsequent modules.